right, hi everybody. I guess I'm here on the screen, which I didn't really need to be, so let's see if I can get me off. Hi, hope you're doing well. See what we can do here, okay? So, what is that? Okay, I'm gone. All right, so hopefully you have access to a printer. You can print out the measures of center day 2 notes. If not, just follow along on a screen in a notebook or whatever, write out what you can. So there are 3 situations for measures of center that we're going to look at. The first is the normal distribution. In a normal distribution, the measure of center, the mean, median, and mode are all in the same place. If it is right skewed, remember outliers are pulling the data to the right. That's not going to change the mode, because remember the mode is the most. The median is the middle value, so that will get pulled, but not as much as the mean, because the mean is going to have those other values, and as you calculate it, it's going to affect that the most. And then kind of the reverse happens if it's left skewed. So the mode is always by the hump. The median will move a little bit, but the mean will move the most. Okay, so now I'm going to go to page 2. I'm pretty sure you're all pretty comfortable with what range is. Range is the difference between the highest and lowest. Feel free to highlight at your own pace at home if you want, or don't, totally up to you. Mid-range is the mean of the highest and lowest data values. So you would literally just pick the highest plus the lowest, divide by 2. It's not that useful, but you might see that asked in some of the homework. What I wanted to focus on today is mean from a frequency table or group data. So this is X bar. And then just a reminder, this is sigma. X is going to represent the midpoint, F is the frequency of the class, and N, or capital N, is the total. So here you have X bar, which means this is from a sample. Okay, and then over here, mu is from a population. So kind of think of, ooh, statistics. Sorry, you're not getting away without doing any of it. I'm trying not to give you too much, but mu, u, that kind of thing. So mu. All right, so X bar is the sample mean, mu is the population mean, and then for example A is asking us find the mean for the group data below. So this should look really familiar. We've done a lot of these. They're not giving you the class boundaries, they're just giving you the class. When you do the midpoint, I don't think you're going to see any that are too crazy, but you would just literally do 0 plus 2 divide by 2, and you want to do close parentheses around your numerator if you're doing that in a calculator. However, what's the middle of 0 and 2? It's just 1. And then if you can look over here, remember we've talked about before about the class width and how if you notice you're just adding 3 all the way down. So you can take that shortcut and add 3 all the way down here. So 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 3 is 7, plus 3 is 10, plus 3 is 13. And then I always just like to check for reasonability. So 4 is the middle, 7 is the middle, 10 and 13 all the middle. We are not going to complete a total for midpoint because that just doesn't make sense intuitively. And I'm assuming that you don't have a calculator and you're just going to be using your phone. Totally up to you what you want to do. Hopefully no embarrassing notifications come up. My sister likes to text a lot, so we'll just see what happens. All right, anyway, I'm going to add my frequencies up. So I have 20 plus 14 plus 15 plus 2 plus 1, and I get 52 as my total frequency. All right, then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 20 times 1, and I get 20, and then 14 times 4 to get 56. Again, hit clear. I get 56. 15 times 7, and I get 105. 2 times 10 is 20, and 1 times 13 is 13. And then again, you're going to add these all up. So this is your total. So here you're going to add up your totals. Go ahead and do that. All right, and I'm getting 214. Yeah, All right, so we're going to do X bar here. And now I'm going to be doing the sum. So the sigma back here represents sum. So I'm doing the sum of the multiplication of the frequencies with the midpoint, which makes a lot of sense because this is saying there's 20 units in this class. So I'm going to say, okay, well, the average of the class is 1. So 20 times 1 is 20. So that kind of is a way that you're looking at all of the data. You have 15 elements in this particular class. The average is 7. Yeah, okay, so 15 times 7 would represent the 105. Then you're just doing basically a weighted average, or just an average from, it's just an average. We're going to do weighted average in a minute. All right, and then you're going to do 214 divided by 52. All right, and I can hit divide by 52, and I get 4.115, so I'm going to round that to 4.1. Okay. All right, we're going to do another one, very similar. So I'm actually just going to kind of pause it for a minute. I am going to say that this is Hall High School students by age. Okay, and in this case, you don't need to do a midpoint. You can add up this column to get the frequency. You can do the multiplication and then add these up here. So you can go ahead and put me on pause. I'm going to put it on pause for a minute. Okay, I guess I'm not. All right, so I can't put it on pause, but you will be able to when you do your video. So that's something you'll be able to do. All right, so now what I'm going to do is instead of taking the time on the video, I'm going to show you the answers to all this. Okay, and now what you're going to do is you are going to take, for X bar, you're going to take the total of this column, the multiplication, which is the 24,789, and divide by the frequency, and same thing, you get 15.47, which is about 15.5. Okay, feel free to pause the video at any point in time as you need to. I'm assuming you don't have the TI-84 graphing calculator, so we're just going to skip that. And then the last thing I did want to show you is a weighted mean. So if you go to page 4, W is the weight, X is the data value, and then this is the sum of the total weights. So our formula is the sum of the products divided by the total weight. So what we would do here is, this is like your semester grades at Hall High School. Each quarter is worth 40% and your midterm is worth 20%. So we're going to say X bar equals, and we're going to do the weight times the value. So 40 times 81 plus, and I usually don't use a little X sign, that's going to aggravate me, so I'm going to put a dot instead because I don't like to use an X that looks like a variable. All right, and then 40 times 85, and then 20 times 70. Okay, and then I'm going to add up all the weights. So the weights are 40, 40, and 20. So that's going to be 40 plus 40 plus 20. And then all you're going to need to do is be really careful with your order of operations. I would say pause it right now and try to finish the question and then come back to the video. All right, and then when you come back, you're going to get 3,240 plus 3,400 plus 1,400, all divided by 100. Remember, fractions have silent grouping symbols, so you have to add up the entire numerator first and hit enter. So I would write the 8,040, then divide by the 100. The ones that have 100% are a little bit easier, and I cannot remember what the homework questions look like, but hopefully most of them are out of 100. And then you just divide to get 80.4. All right, I am not going to do out example D because I'm already long-winded. So what I would like you to do is go ahead and check your answers. Go ahead and try example D. Check your answer with the answer key for the day 2 packet. And then the homework is completing the second part of the 2.4 homework. All right, guys, thanks so much, and you're doing great.